let me jump over to this one, because this is a little off the beaten path as far as the languaging on this, but I just love the title of it. I've never heard 81 million people be so silent. Where are they? By the way, 81 million people are supposedly the number of people who voted for Trump for real. That he really got those votes, not Biden. But 81 million people be so silent. Where are they? They're going back to work. They're getting on with their lives. They don't have to micromanage their own fucking government. They don't have to, like, white knuckle the fucking news every day, even as much as the news would like them to, about Afghanistan specifically and COVID. They don't have to. And they shouldn't have to. Being a citizen and focusing on your democracy and understanding the issues that exist in our political lives should not eat up an exorbitant amount of time in your life. It should not. You should, I just voted no on the California recall, proud to do it, and it didn't take me long at all. And when I did, I sent my ballot in. It said, hey, the post office picked up your ballot. It's on its way. And then when they received it, your ballot has been counted. Congratulations. There you go. And I got a text all along the way. It's a fantastic system. But it shouldn't take days, weeks, months out of your life. You shouldn't have to have sort of a Black Friday day where at this point in your year, you've used up all the days you're going to need to eat up dealing with taxes, or what's the April 15th tax day, but there's a day when you've worked off all your taxes and everything's profit afterwards. You shouldn't have to have that as far as citizenship. We're like, okay, I put 3 months in, over the course of the year, listening to like news pundits, reading articles, studying bills, and all that kind of shit. You shouldn't have to. But I'm curious why these folks, media calls Kabul attack worst day of Biden administration. Oh, the media? Do they call that? The media does. First of all, Fox News, aren't you media? Secondly, usually when you say media like that, you mean bad media, but obviously you support calling it, saying it's the worst day. So this is going to be fascinating. Oh, no.
No laundry, no errands, no chores. Nothing but snuggle time. And
what are you doing? I don't need to, what's happening here? Is it good? What's happening? I don't want to, what are you doing? Can I not? I don't want the ad to play. What is this doing? Try this again. Oh,
no laundry, no errands, no chore.
I'm just turning the audio off for a second because I don't know what we're supposed to take away from these images, but fine. Bloomp. Loneliness. It's what Hilton is for. Okay.
Presidency. It was the worst day so far for him in his presidency.
These are tough, dark days at the White House and the Pentagon.
Here to react?
Yeah, I don't disagree that they're tough days. Dark days? No.
Fox News contributors, Lara Trump, Leo Terrell, and Fox.
Lara? What is she from Krypton now?
Businesses, Jackie DeAngelis. Jackie, I'm going to start with you. How bad are things when you're seeing the mainstream media, CBS, and even CNN, calling this the darkest day and really not being able to provide cover for the Biden administration?
Well, maybe you realize that they don't provide cover and that they're just reporting the news. Maybe this is a moment where you recognize that the news is just covering kind of the extremity of what's happening. Perhaps.
Good morning to you, Rachel. Well, it is a dark day for the administration, and an administration that is so young. And you can't take any...
It's a great way to describe it. That's how I would describe the Biden administration. It's so young.
In the media and have them honestly, legitimately be able to defend this. So you've got a left-wing media that is actually stepping up to the plate for the first time and saying things are really bad in Afghanistan. We could have prevented this. This administration had the intelligence at its fingertips and it chose not to react in a certain way. Listen, President Trump wouldn't have done this.
Sorry. I agree. He wouldn't have done this. Let's just address that right away. Trump wouldn't have done this. He wouldn't have gotten out of Afghanistan. No, he would have stayed. If he was in for another 4 years, we'd be in Afghanistan for the next 4 years. Just for the record.
He wanted to withdraw troops from Afghanistan, but he wanted to do it in a very different way. Right now,
You mean in the way where you don't? First of all, where you need conditions on the ground that are impossible to meet because they're in your fucking head. And secondly, keep Bagram Air Force Base magically with no troops in the country? Like that?
America is sitting in a situation where we've attacked. We did the drone strike to make sure that we got that ISIS-K leader. But now what happens? Have we got the
Can we do that again? How many drones do we even have?
stakes here? We have to see in the next few days. The White House has said the darkest days could be ahead of us, the most difficult days of the
That's the spirit.
operation. So this is a really tough situation for us to sit back and be watching and knowing that we could have prevented it.
Do you know that? I'm sorry, how do you know that, ma'am? I'm sorry, this would be a really good opportunity for you to hold up a copy of the plan. Since you know there was a better way to do this, and you know this would have been different if Trump had done it, and you know this. I mean, honestly, I feel like I'm dressed all wrong for this panel. I really do. Hold on. This is better. Hold on. Give me 1 second. This is better. How's that for everybody? Do I look like I fit in on the panel a little better? One of the great things about Donald Trump when he was running things is he has, I think, you know how like Loki managed to just pull the Tesseract out of nowhere, even though it was supposed to be gone or supposed to be destroyed or was in some other parallel dimension, just happens to be there, and he could do it. Trump was like that with taxes, plans, and healthcare plans. It's just, he just could do it, you know? And I think we all know he would have been way better. And I feel bad for the Biden administration that they didn't just take advantage of the magic plan. He's a magic plan. Yeah. Whoa. Oh, he's a magic plan. All right. It's a little too close to home. Little.
Leo, it is a sad week. Our hearts have been breaking here on this show all morning reporting it. And since we heard the news, during the Trump presidency.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone at Fox was heartbroken. And no one there was giddy about how they could find a way to attach these soldiers' deaths to the Biden administration's choices and not to the Trump administration's choices not to have left earlier. Because if we'd have left last year, or the year before that, or the year before that, none of these people would have been in Afghanistan to be killed in the first place.
See, for I think the last 13 months, not one American life.
Oh, no, she didn't. Oh, no, you didn't. You're going to reference the deal that Trump made for them to not attack Americans as long as we get out by May 1st. And the fact that Biden extended that to August 31st, but no longer because we have no interest in staying. You're gonna bring up the fact that Trump let out 5,000 Taliban soldiers, leaders of the Taliban, and their current head from a Pakistani jail in exchange for them not firing a shot on Americans until we leave, till after our leave date.
Lost despite the fact that they were beginning to withdraw and begin this process.
Yeah, that's because they knew that was one of the conditions. If we met that condition, we would keep leaving. Now, what they didn't realize was that the whole make sure Al-Qaeda never comes back in, or we're not leaving until you prove there are no Al-Qaeda in the country, which is fucking impossible in a country like that, which isn't even really a country. But we'll just hang out. We'll tell you what, we'll leave, but we're not leaving until the conditions on the ground are met. And the condition is that you prove a negative forever.
Why the difference?
I'll tell you, Rachel, I want to be as clear as possible. I am sick and tired of the Biden administration trying to throw President Trump under the bus. Every American knows in this country this would have never happened.
By the way, this picture they keep showing is Biden listening to Steve Ducey after he asked him, remember that question? He was like, go ahead, the most interesting person here. And he asked this like asshole question. And Biden went, this motherfucker. And then later on, he was like, they did another press conference. I think it was today. And he's like, I'm not supposed to answer questions. And the reason is because he keeps going further into this. And he's like, his tempers are going to go. And they know it. So they're like, can you please not do questions today? There's nothing else to be told these people. And they're going to stir up bullshit. And he was like, I did it last time, and I regret it ever since, because what a waste of fucking time.
Trump administration. He used force. He protected America. And
he made an agreement with the Taliban to surrender and escape. What do you mean protected America? If we met the May 1st deadline, we would have gotten no Afghan civilians out, that helped us, right? We would not have. So those people would have been just murdered, I suppose, right? Where's the protection part? Where did he protect us? 64 American service people died during the Trump administration. What are you talking about?
Amazing is the fact that the Biden administration has hurt the integrity and credibility of America throughout the world. I reject.
How? By what? Making a decision and sticking to it, even though it's tough?
Rachel, the concept and the idea that those 13 American service members had to die. This was
You're right. They didn't have to die. They did not have to die. First of all, there are multiple opportunities where that couldn't have happened. Specifically in the last 4 years of the Trump administration, the only 4 years, forever, of the Trump administration, where he could have gotten us out at any time, didn't, and those people would have never been serving there in the first place.
Force error caused by the incompetency of the Biden administration. And this country is hurting.
Incompetency, but
because we have the incompetency of the Biden administration.
Thank you for correcting that.
Coupled with a ineffective Secretary of State. And the result is this country is hurting, and this is a problem that cannot go on any further.
You're right. It's not going on any further. After today.
Darkest day of the Biden administration and one of the darkest days in American history.
No. Clearly not. I mean, by the way, when we hit 100,000 dead from COVID in the United States, you think this asshole and anybody on this panel said this is a dark day for America? What about when we hit 200,000 dead Americans from COVID? Do you think they went on television and said this is a dark day for America? How about 300,000? How about 400,000 Americans dead from COVID? Do you think these assholes went on television on Fox News and said this is a dark day for America and Donald Trump is responsible for any of it? How about 500,000? How about 550? How about, to make a direct parallel, 13? When 13 Americans had died from COVID, do you think these assholes said, we've been dealing with this for far too long, and this is the president has to answer for this? Citizens, not soldiers serving honorably in a dangerous place who got killed. Thank you for becoming a patron. Right on. At any point? No? Do you think at any point? Let's double it. From 13. 26. Anybody? No? Did they go on when there were twice as many people killed by COVID last year? At that moment? Did this asshole go on TV and say this is a dark day? Citizens, not people who had chosen to fight and die for their country. They just got sick. They said goodbye to their families on an iPad because no one could visit them. You think this asshole came out and said he's ashamed of America and this is a terrible day for the country?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this was foreseeable and preventable. Oh,
yeah? It was foreseeable and preventable? How? Obviously, it was foreseeable because Trump and everybody around him knew that if we got out, it was going to look like shit, so he didn't do it.
For a week, we're saying something like this was going to happen.
For a week, you were saying? A whole week. And what are your options? Stop evacuating people, knowing full well this exists, strafe bombing the city, telling people not to go to the airport when you're at the height of removing people from the country? What's your solution, dum-dum? Honestly, the nerve of this. And by the way, can someone tell Lara Trump to lean forward into her light? Because she looks like she's uplit like a Phil Collins video. Ow.
You know, a lot of people are saying, obviously, there's blood on Biden's hands, on his administration. But let's talk a little bit about the Never Trumpers who put...
I'm sorry, the what? The Never Trumpers?
Who put President Biden into office and enable...
Oh, did they? Oh, that's I see. Yeah, so this is the Lincoln Project's fault.
This presidency and this administration.
Yeah, I have never, Rachel, heard 81 million people be so silent. Where are they?
Yeah.
Where are they
Liz,
speaking out on this? And yeah, I know, the 81 million people out there. I mean, where have they gone? They have completely been silent on this whole thing. And look,
Yeah, because they represent almost exactly about 67% of the American public, and as far as the voting age populace. And those people very distinctly say that we need to get out. We should have gotten out a long time ago. It's going to suck. We got to go. We believed this for a long time. Everybody knew it was a farce, especially for the last 10 years. The last 4, it was obvious to anybody, but Trump wouldn't act on it, even though he ran on it. He promised it. It was one of his big sales pitches. It turned out to be bullshit. And those 81 million people, if you look at the polls, are like, good, this is terrible and tough and difficult, but we appreciate our service people for the sacrifice they make. We love them, we support them, and we need to get out so there are not more deaths. That's where they are. It's in the polling, it's in who's watching and talking about this, both online and reality.
it is such a dark day. Leo is right. This is a stain on America that will last forever.
Which stain? You mean leaving Afghanistan? Or that 13 service people lost their lives to suicide bombers? So worse than 9/11 then, I guess. So there was was there a PDB that was ignored on this? Because the president apparently saw his PDB that said, this is dangerous. Be on the lookout. Be aware of this. We can't guarantee that there won't be something like this. And this is the reason why we got to be out by the date we want to get out, because there's just going to be more of this. We add a week to this. There's a week more of opportunities for shit like this to happen. More people will get killed. We extend this process, slow it down. Other people, after the airport shuts down, they're guaranteed they're moving. Joe Biden is another 9/11. You wish.
This is a terrible situation. 13 service members did not have to die.
That's right. We could have left Afghanistan last year, or the year before that, or the year before that, but we didn't.
Gosh, that it's bad whenever the mainstream media is finally calling out Joe Biden. Even the Democrats, guys, can see that he is incapable of executing the role of president of the United States.
Well, he made the decision, and the military is carrying it out. That is true, by the way. When trolls attack, we do more, like, it's a time for like ads and stuff like that. And there you go, I'll throw one in there. I think somebody already did one. That's nice, thanks.
They love to throw around the 25th Amendment. Gosh, we know they loved impeachment when Donald Trump was in office.
Well, that's because he's an idiot and also did a lot of criminal things while he was in office. This is just a decision you don't like.
Isn't now.
By the way, that was an unfortunate freeze frame.
The president that clearly cannot handle this role and has a full dereliction of duty at this point as it relates to the Afghanistan situation, among many other things.
Yeah, totally. Like, you have a copy of the Trump. You're in the family. She has a copy of the Trump plan, right? For exit. She could just read it. Yeah? Just go ahead and pull it up. Put it up on screen. All four of you do like one of those things where there's like 4 pictures on one side of the screen and then the rest of the screen is the actual document. And then you guys, everybody on here, can go through Trump's plan for exit and reassure everyone that it would have gone off without a hitch and that it's just a blank piece of paper. Oh, shit.
Well, you guys have a big show tonight, the big Saturday show. It's coming up at 5 p.m.
Awesome. Yeah. Anyways, darkest day in America. We got a good show tonight. Let me tell you. Who got on the show tonight? We got Bosco the Cloud. He's coming out. It's going to be great. And then, of course, this one guy juggles Trump's taxes. It's a mess, but it's fun to watch. Whatever. Greg Gutfeld's going to do some stand-up. He hasn't done it in a long time. And even if he had, it wouldn't make it any better. Tune in tonight. It's great. Look at all the smiles. Darkest day in America, by the way. Let's just remind everybody. This is the darkest day in America. I never heard anyone million people so silent, just miserable. This is terrible. Well, this is a stain on America. Don't forget. Just to remind you. They were just telling us that this is a day that will live in infamy, effectively. This is the, yeah. Seriously, can we just bask in this bullshit for a second? Can we just recognize that all of these folks a moment ago were just like, oh, the deaths of soldiers, and oh, it means so much, and oh, dereliction, and the president obviously can't discharge his duties, and more people are going to be killed, and it's a bit terrible or whatever. You guys got a great show coming up tonight, don't you? It's true. We do. It's so fun.
I look forward to hearing from all three of you.
It's going to be so fun. I mean, I will just put all this Afghanistan war stuff aside-edness.
At 5 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, Lara.
I'm sorry. I got to be honest. On Saturday at 5 o'clock, I was busy. I missed it. Could have been. Yeah. I'm sure it was terrific, and I think it's amazing the level of entertainment that you're willing to provide at 5 o'clock Eastern time. So, all right. Yeah. And I will say it again unequivocally. I appreciate Joe Biden, the president of the United States, for finally getting us out of Afghanistan and assuring that no service members have to lose their lives in Afghanistan on the ground, shoring up a government and a military that no matter when we left, the very same day they would drop their guns and allow the Taliban to take over. It's silly. It's absurd. And yeah, just for the record.